As Coach Cecil back with you, and today what we're going to focus on is simplifying rational expressions. So we're going to be adding, subtracting, multiplying, and dividing these different expressions to kind of help you get geared up for reducing these so that when we solve them, it is a little easier for you. Okay, and so without further ado, let's jump right in. Okay, so what we're going to do, guys, is we're going to start with 1 over 5 plus 1/3. So what's 1/5 plus 1/3? If you guys remember, you've got to find that least common multiple, that common factor in the bottom. 5 and 3, what's the least thing that they both go into, which would be 15. And so what you do is you multiply by what you don't have. So we multiplied the 1/5 by a 3, and we multiply the 1/3 by a 5 because, again, the 3 is missing the 5. And remember, guys, we can do this because it's kind of like, remember on equations when we say whatever you do to one side, you can do to the other. It's kind of the same thing. If you do it to the bottom, you can also do it to the top. So we go 1 times 3, which is 3. 5 times 3 is 15. 1 times 5 is 5. 3 times 5 is 15 as well. Now that we have a common base, we can just add across the top. So 3 plus 5 gives you 8. You got the 15. Of course, you would reduce, if possible, that final answer. Okay? So let's just jump right in. Okay, so when we're adding and subtracting these polynomials here, let's click to see, and we're going to put them in the order. Okay, so we have here the problem. Of course, that's going to be the first thing that we do. And then, guys, what you're going to do is you're going to look to find a common denominator. Okay, so you're going to have the problem, then the common denominator. As you see, we had x minus 5 and x plus 5. The common denominator would be that denominator, x plus 5, x minus 6. And so what you would do then is you would multiply each one by what you don't have, okay? And so that's what you're going to do. You're going to take the 7x plus 3 times x plus 5 over x plus 5. You're taking the 3 over x plus 5, and you're taking that times x minus 6 and x minus 6. And again, the reason that works is you're really just taking it times 1, because x plus 5 over x plus 5 gives you 1. So you're really not changing it, you're just taking it times 1 to get it in a different shape. So once we do that, okay, you would multiply them. Okay, and so then we would multiply all of these. All right, and then once you did that, okay, you would combine to a single fraction right here. You would distribute the 3, and then you would combine those like terms. Let's see if we got it right. And good job, we did it. Okay, so let's break these down and go through these. So least common multiple between 6x and 6x squared. Again, that's what they can multiply into. And so that, so least common denominator, and that would be a 6x squared, because that's what they both go into, is 6x squared. And then what we're going to do, guys, is let's do 2 at a time so that I don't have to keep, swiping back and forth and getting everybody seasick. And so we've got the 1 6x squared, and we both said that that was going to be a 6x squared. Then on this one here, guys, we've got an x and we've got an 8x, so the least common denominator would be the 8x. Again, hey, when in doubt, if you don't know what it is, you just multiply them together. We could have said it's 8x squared and then reduced at the end if you wanted to. That's a quick, easy way to do it. But we know that 8x and x, the least common is 8x. Okay? So let's go ahead and swipe over, and here's what I have, okay? And so what we said was, we said that 6x squared is going to be our common denominator, okay? Now the 6x, what did we take that to get x? We took it times x. So I'm going to take the top times x, okay? And now the 6x squared, guys, that's already 6x squared, so we don't even have to do anything to its numerator. It's okay. So we combine, and what I'm going to have is x times 1 gives me x plus the 1, because we didn't do anything to the 1. Now, I don't have any like terms, so that is my answer, x plus 1 over 6x squared. Now I look at the bottom here. This that was, let's call that A. If I look at B here, okay, B, this left equation is missing an 8, so I'm going to multiply the top and the bottom by 8. And over here, I already have an 8x, so I don't need to do anything to the 9. So what we can do is we can combine them now, as 8x is both the denominators. 8 times 1 is 8 plus 9. And so now I have like terms and I can combine those. And 8 plus 9 gives me 17 over 8x. Now ideally, if 17 and 8 had a common factor, we could break that down even more, but they don't. So 17 over 8x is my answer. Okay, so we said that this was x plus 1 over x squared, and then this was 17 over 8x. Okay. Now, all right, the 7 over 2x minus the 5 over 6x. Okay, when I look at those guys, the 2x and the 6x, we see, hey, 2x actually can go into 6x. So 6x would be my least common denominator. And now we're going to get into those quadratics. All right, these are fun stuff. I love doing these. So I've got 2x plus 3 over x minus 4 plus 3 over x plus 8. Okay, and then so what we do, guys, is when you have two quadratics like that, that becomes your new bottom. Okay, you got x minus 4 and x plus 8. Okay. All right, now that I've got these written down, let's attack them. Okay, let's call this C here, and we'll call that D. So on C, we said that 6x was our least common denominator. And so the 2x, I would need to multiply that by a 3 to get 6x. And so now my bases are the same. So I'm going to go 3 times 7, right, is 21. Okay. And now I leave it as a 5, okay, because, hey, I don't need to do anything to it, do I? And so I'm going to leave that as a 5. All right. So now what I'm going to have is 21 minus 5 is 16 over 6x. And remember how we talked about on this one up top, how if I had common ones I can reduce? Well, 18 over 6, what can go into both of those? 2. That's right. So 16 divided by 2 is 8. 6 divided by 2 is a 3. So I'm going to have 8 over 3x as my final answer. Okay, guys, on this next one, we get to do a lot of multiplying. What you're going to say is, okay, so basically you're going to do, some people like to call it the crisscross thing. Just don't do that. Just say multiply by what you don't have. So this didn't have an x plus 8, so I'm going to take this times x plus 8. Okay. The 3 doesn't have an x minus 4, so I'm going to take that times x minus 4. All right. Now, we know that x minus 4 and x plus 8 is our denominator. I'm going to have to FOIL these over here, and so I'm going to get a 2x squared doing the first. Doing my outside, I get a 3x. Doing my inside, I get a 16x. And my outsides, I do get a 24. Run out of room here. Now, I'm going to use distributive property here, and I get a 3x minus 12. Okay? Now, combine your like terms. I got a 2x squared. And I like to cross off when I'm done to kind of help me out. I got a 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22x. Cross those 3 x's out. And then 24 minus 12 is 12. Okay? And all of that is over x minus 4, x plus 8. Now you could try to work that out and see if it factors out and anything deletes, but it doesn't. Okay? It's in the simplest form. And so we said that this one was 8 over 3x, and this one was a 2x squared, plus 22x minus 12, and all of that is over an x minus 4, x plus 8. Okay, let's look at this next one, guys. So I have an x and an x minus 9. All right. Now, some of you would think that x minus 9 then would be the least common denominator then, but it's not. We're just going to have to multiply those together. So x minus 9 is my least common one. Okay. So that's going to be our least common one with 7 over x. I guess I better write this down. Minus 5x plus 7 over x minus 9. Okay. And then let's take our last one home here. All right. And guess what? Let's do that. You know what? Let's do that one all on the paper so that we can talk about it, because that is just, it's just a pretty problem. Okay. Okay. Let me scoot my paper up here. Okay, so again, guys, get it to where you can see it. There you go. Multiply by what you don't have. And so the 7 doesn't have the x minus 9, so that's what it's going to get multiplied with. The 5x plus 7 doesn't have the x, so that's what it's going to get multiplied with. So I'm going to use distributive property. All right, so I'm going to take 7 times x and get a 7x. I'm going to take 7 times a negative 9 and get a negative 63. Now, see this negative here? We're going to make sure that that gets distributed to both of them. So I'm going to take a negative 5x times x. So that's going to give me a negative 5x squared. Okay, and then I'm going to take a negative 5x. Then I'm going to have a 7x here, and that's going to actually be, what do we have here? I think we said that that was a negative 7x. Okay, making sure that my notes, this is what I have as well. And so again, guys, I had 5x plus that, so that gets an x to it, so it really just becomes an x squared and a 7x. This was a 7x minus 63. And so then what you have, we change the sign, so this was a minus 5x squared now and a minus 7x. My 7x's cancel. Okay, and now I'm left with a negative 5x squared minus 63, okay, all over x minus 9. Okay, now, ladies and gentlemen, okay, just making sure that we did that right, okay, we're going to look here at the bottom one. And we've got to factor this, and so we're going to say factors of negative 16. I'm sorry, that when I add them together, I get a 6x, and we know that that's going to be an x plus 8 and an x minus 2. Because again, guys, I look at this negative 16. Both of these I multiply them, I get that. When I add them together, I get that. So the x, we can leave it alone. And now I need to take the 5. I already have an x plus 8, so I need to take that times x minus 2. So I'm going to subtract, guys, a 5x and a negative 10. Now again, this negative, we can distribute it basically, so this becomes a negative 5x and this becomes a positive 10. And I have x plus 8, x minus 2. And so then what happens, guys, is x minus 5x, okay, I'm going to get a negative 4x, and then I have here, okay, a positive 10 all over x plus 8, x minus 2. Okay? Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Okay, so now we've got a negative, this, negative 5x squared minus 63. Okay, all over an x minus 9. Okay, and then on this one, we said that our bottom base was going to be x plus 8, x minus 2. And over here, we said that was going to be a negative 4 plus 10. Oh, negative 4x plus 10 all over x plus 8, x minus 2. Let's try it, okay? We know, hey, I could not get this one to work out when we did that. And then, oh, I do see here, oh, well, you know what? We did not, we gave the wrong sign here on this. We should have said that this was a plus 12, I believe. And now we're all right. Hey, these x's here, I'm not sure why they're showing up. I tried to do the programming on it, but I can rest assured and let you know that we did do that correctly. If you don't, if you think we found an error, please let me know. But I've worked it a couple times, and I think that's what we get. Okay, on this, guys, when we multiply fractions, just remember that we're going to multiply numerators with numerators, denominators with denominators, and then we're going to reduce at the end. So we got a 3 out of 10, a 4 over 5. That's going to give us 12 over 50, which reduces to 6 over 25. So, in other words, guys, are the original problem like we have right here. Okay, so with this, hey, this is where I'm at. I'm going to factor completely. Okay, I'm going to factor this quadratic into two binomials. I'm going to take this here into two binomials. Then what I'm going to do, guys, is I'm going to, let's see here. I'm going to simplify the binomial factors, and so that's going to go here. Okay, then we're going to rearrange as a single fraction, okay, and then we're going to simplify. Good job. So look at this problem. What strategies did we have? Okay, basically, guys, on this, just know that when you divide, you flip and you multiply. Okay, you change the 4/5 to a 5 over 4, then you still multiply across and reduce. Okay, so again, guys, you have your problem. You reciprocate and multiply. You factor completely, and then you simplify. Okay, you ready to do a couple problems here that we have? Okay. So if I was really good, I would already have these written down, but I'm kind of slacking a bit, and so I don't have those down. So what we'll do is we'll do two at a time. X squared plus 13x plus 36 over x plus 4. Let's give ourselves some space here. X squared minus 4 over 4 plus 12. It's kind of weird. Divided by x squared plus 5x plus 6 over x squared plus 3x. Okay. Here's what we got. Let's kind of get that straightened up for you just a tad. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to factor. We know this here. Again, guys, I'm going to stop you and I'm going to tell you this now. If you don't know how to factor, pause the video, go figure it out, and come back. Okay, you have to know how to factor to be able to do this. So I see here, factors of negative 45 that when I add them together do give me a 4x. And so what I'm going to have is this breaks down to x plus 9, x minus 5. Okay, so now that we have that, then I come up here, factors of 36 that when I add them together give me 13. Okay. Let's see here. 9 and 4. Yes. X plus 9. X plus 4. So then, guys, what we do, we factor completely. This is now gone. This is now gone. What we're going to do is we're going to cancel out. So x plus 9 cancels with an x plus 9. X plus 4 cancels with an x plus 4. And what I'm left with is x over x minus 5. Okay? Now, guys, what we're going to do is right away, we're going to go ahead and flip this. Okay, so I'm going to make this an x squared plus 3x on top, x squared plus 5x plus 6 on bottom. And now I'm going to multiply. Okay, this is a perfect squared, x squared minus 4. It actually turns into x plus 2, x minus 2. I mean, come on, guys. 4 plus 12, it's 16. Okay? Now, these don't factor except that we do have an x in both of them, so we can pull it out. So x plus 3. I know, a lot of scratching, but I like to do that so then I know, hey, it's gone and I'm just dealing with the new one. And then I have x squared plus 5x plus 6. Factors of 6 that add up to 5 is x plus 2, x plus 3. I can cancel my x plus 3's. I can cancel my x plus 2's, and I'm left with x, don't forget this guy, x minus 2 over 16. I look to see if I can reduce anything. I can't. It's done. Okay, so there's the first two. Let's look at the next one. So we have x squared plus 8x minus 9 over x minus 1 times 4x squared over x squared plus x minus 72. And then the next one is division again. And hey guys, to save space and to save time, remember what we're going to do is we're going to flip the second one. So I'm going to have x squared minus 1 over 2x plus 2. But now I'm going to say I'm multiplying with a 2x squared over x squared minus 6x plus 5, because again, we are going to flip. Oh, gosh darn it. We are going to flip and multiply. Okay, and of course I hit the wrong button, so now we are here. Okay, so I factor this out, guys. Factors of negative 9 add up to 8. X plus 9, x minus 1. If you don't know how to factor, please learn how ASAP. 4x squared can't reduce that, but hey, here, guys, okay, what factors of negative 72 when I add them together give me a 1? X plus 9, x minus 8. Okay, so now what happens is the x minus 1's cancel out. The x plus 9's cancel out. And what I'm left with is a 4x squared over x minus 8. Can't reduce. We're on to multiplying this. Remember, this was a division with x squared minus 6x plus 5 on top and 2x squared on bottom. We flipped it already, and now we're going to multiply. Be careful, x squared minus 1 is a perfect square. It is x plus 1, x minus 1. What goes into 2x plus 2? I can pull a 2 out because that's what they share in common. When I divide these by 2, I do get x plus 1. 2x squared is in its simplest form. And when I look here, factors of 5 that when I add them together give me a negative 6. X minus 5, x minus 1. Okay? And here we go. X minus 1's cancel. X plus 1's cancel. Ah, my 2's cancel. I can cancel out the 2 and not this x squared because I'm still multiplying there. So it's technically 2 times x squared, so I take the 2 away. And so now I am just left with an x squared over x minus 5. That's it. Okay, and it looks like we have 2 more problems, x minus 9 over x squared minus 17x plus 72 times x squared minus 64 all over 6x plus 48. And then the last problem is x squared minus 81 over x minus 9. Guys, I'm going to go ahead and flip this. So now I'm going to make this the x minus 8 on top and the x squared minus 17x plus 72. Man, I love that quadratic. On bottom, and I'm going to multiply. Okay, so the first one here, the x minus 9 over the x squared minus 17x plus 72. I'm going to factor this. Factors of 72, when I add them together, give me negative 17. Factors of c that add up to b. Okay, this is going to be the x minus 9, x minus 8. Be careful here. This is a perfect square. X squared minus 64. It's going to be an x plus 8, x minus 8. And go ahead and cross it out. And then down below here, I can pull a 6 out. And I'm left with 6 plus 8. From here, we do a lot of slashing. You're done, and you're X minus 9 can cancel out with the x minus 9 down below. The x plus 8 can cancel out with the x plus 8 down below. The x minus 8 and the x minus 8 cancels out. So guys, now I'm left with 6's in the denominator. Remember, if I don't have a numerator, then it just becomes a 1 as a placeholder, and the 6 is still on the bottom. So it'd just be 1 6 when I multiply those all together. And then the last one, it's asking us to do, I got a perfect square, x plus 9, x minus 9. Remember, we went ahead and flipped this. This was division, so we flipped it. We just had this quadratic, and we now know that it's x minus 9, x minus 8. We did that on the last one. And let's slash. X minus 9 cancels out with the x minus 9. X minus 8 cancels with the x minus 8. So now I just have an x plus 9 over an x minus 1. I'm sorry, an x minus 9. Now, a lot of people do this and they want to go, oh, those cancel, 9 over 9, 1, negative 1, or, oh, those cancel, do that. Guys, you can't do that. They're tied with the symbols, okay? So it is x plus 9 over x minus 9. That's my answer. Okay, guys, that is it. Hopefully you feel really good about this. Oh, here's a cool down look to see what they did as an error, and I'm going to go ahead and point that out. Hopefully you can see my mouse. But remember, when I'm subtracting these guys, the negative gets distributed to both terms. So this should have been a negative 2x and a negative 5. Negative 5. Okay, so when I did this, this should have been a 3x minus 2, 3x plus 7. Okay, and then you can't just say these cancel out. It doesn't work that way. Okay, so that is what you have. Okay? Alrighty, that is it. Okay, ain't nothing to it but to do it. Please reach out if you have any questions. Have a good evening.